concerned.
The total initiative relative to what we can do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump and you ain't black.
I want to ask a larger question.
Okay.
What happens when incarceration becomes an economic incentive?
In
order to answer that question, I will address using 5 parts. Like I will break it down. I will break down a response to this question in 5 parts.
Okay.
By number 1, I will talk a little bit more about the crime bill and the mass incarceration.
Look at that. Look at all them white people ready to go with that crime bill. Let me see. There's Billy here, Al here, Hillary here. I don't know who the rest of these white people are, but they was ready to go. Oh, this is a black man right here. They was ready to go.
Number 2, the mass incarceration that ensued as a result. The scandal.
Damn, this is mass incarcerated starting in going up from 1988. Child, this been going up since 1976, up to its height in 2008. 2008. Is that when we had the that's when we had the crash? Was that crash? The housing crash in 2008? Or am I getting my years mixed up? Then it's leveled. Well, it's still up there. So now it's coming down. Looks like a little bit on 2019, 2021, but not back down to this. You know, the height of racism back here, 1960, 1964, 68, 72. Started to rise up between 72 and 76. Up. Back here doing all this racism, child. Woo! Lord help your people. Thank you. And I saw what you sent to me, Uncle Rick. I got to say that for tomorrow. This is a mess. Yeah. When you think Rowley knows about this? Do you think he brings this to the people? Nah. All right.
That became known as Kids for Cash, number 3. And
yo, you remember that program that came out in 2008, Cash for Clunkers? They just always doing the cash for, huh? Cash for Clunkers. Now it's Kids for Cash. There's a theme, y'all. There's a theme.
And number 4, the presidential pardon or Biden's clemency. And 5, the bigger question, what does it mean when a country makes economic incentives for incarceration by privatizing prisons, which is what happened as a result of the crime bill and the super predator, spearheaded by the super predator discourse, championed by some of the largest, most powerful individuals in the country, controlling the most powerful levers of government, president, the presidential level, the senator level, Ivy League institutions, promoting these ideas. Man, part 1. The Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act of 1994 expanded prisons. In
1994, I's married now with 1 kid. I was just listening to R&B music, wasn't thinking about the crime bill. What was y'all doing in 94 when Joe Biden was working on the crime bill?
Incentivized for prison construction because the prison system as we knew it leading up to the 1994 crime bill wasn't able to contain the new wave of inmates and prisoners. The prison system became overrun.
I'm not trying to hear that, DJ.
And so it provided incentives for private prison construction. And as a result, you know, if you know anything about American or U.S. economics, private prison industry eventually became something that you could invest in publicly, in the public stock market, right? Yeah. And, you know, this, the crime bill triggered a lot of truth in sentencing grants. So like harsher sentencing, you know, that's when the 3 strikes you're out, sentencing, the harsh sentences, the tougher sentencing, the expansion of police funding, the militarization of police forces across U.S. urban cities, right? All of this was a result of the crime bill. But there's a very important nuance here.
All right, Jessica.
The bill was supported by many elected officials from both parties at the time. So obviously this was the result of a Democratic presidency and a Democratic Senate.
The result of a Democratic presidency and a Democratic Senate. All right, y'all. That's enough. All right, that's enough. I'm tired of y'all already. I'm just kidding.
Right. And interestingly enough, many black leaders as well. The Congressional Black Caucus, their hands are also muddied, dirtied, bloodied as a result of this as well.
Uh-oh. Ain't that him? Which one is that? Clyburn or the other one? I know it's 2 of them. Oh, they was a part of it, though. They was chiming in on it.
And at the same time, there were historically high violent crime happening. and fairness. Like, I can't frame this as something that was happening in a vacuum, right? Like there was an epidemic of violent crime at the time, no question. But
I remember the crime in the 80s. Thank y'all. That's John Lewis. I remember the crime in the 80s was when the mob was off the hook in Philly. They were off the hook. They was blowing up people's cars. They was doing the damn thing. The mob was something in the 80s in Philly. They're quiet now.
Critics later argued that several provisions contributed to mass incarceration and disproportionately affected Black communities. And these competing perspectives are important context, right? So in other words, it's important to acknowledge that, yes, there was a lot of crime going on. The drug wars across the U.S. was in full bloom. You know, you had the deindustrialization, which I talked about, which left a lot of, you know, Black and urban communities in shambles. There was a lot of economic incentive for people to involve themselves in the drug trade, right? Because, you know, like a significant part of the economies, especially in many of the urban, you know, places, and a lot of the places that were magnets for, you know, the Great Migration, and the industrial zones, you know, had become ghost towns and deserted via deindustrialization. And a lot of the illicit drugs and the illicit drug market filled the vacuum, right? And
so they had to resort to the old selling on the corner, child. Katiana Mami said Andrew Cuomo was Clinton's HUD secretary who forced banks to give mortgage loans to people who couldn't afford it and illegal aliens. Upon deportation, the homes go into foreclosure. Biden did it too. All that was a mess. All that was a hot ass mess. But because I saw that coming, because I'm in finance, and I was like, yeah, this is crazy. Shout out to those that took advantage of it. But that was a mess, period. Woo, Lord help your people.
And, you know, so all of these things are happening simultaneously. And with that came a lot of really violent crime, right? To be fair. But the issue is the ways in which Black communities were overly disenfranchised and disadvantaged, juxtaposed with other groups who were just as involved in drug use.
Oh yeah, white people, because y'all was down there and getting it. It was being brought to the white people though. You remember, like in some movies, but like in real life, when the white people was getting caught, first of all, they look crazy being in like Baltimore. I'm just using that for example. In the hood of Baltimore, the hood of Philly, the hood or whatever the hood was, white people coming up there in their cars dressed up. Like, y'all really wanted this that bad? So then people used to deliver to them too. And child, some of the people that they were sending over there to deliver to them, child, white people was wilding too. Let's not act like they wasn't. They like the coca, allegedly.
Use, drug selling, etc. The biggest losers and the biggest folk in the communities who were most affected were, without question, those in the Black American communities.
Always,
right?
always.
So, part two, that's part one. Part two is mass incarceration. And I mentioned the explosion of the prison population and the disproportionate impact on Black American communities, the disruption of families, the incarceration, the splitting up families through overcharges. I mean, so many people in our communities were going in and out of prison. It became normal, right? Like young kids, 15 years old, 16 years old, 18, 19, 20.
Maybe that's why they celebrate now still. Oh, look who's back.
I seen it. I lived through it. I saw it, and it became almost normal. Like large chunks of our communities would just disappear from the streets. And it was almost just understood that so-and-so was locked up, was doing a bid. And if you didn't see so-and-so for a couple of years, for whatever reasons, he or she could have moved to another city or another state. And then they, reappear. And the assumption was automatically, oh, damn, when'd you get out? You must've did a bid. So-and-so did a bid. I seen them, whether they did or not, but that was the sort of knee-jerk reaction. So you had this disruption within Black families. You had these economic consequences as a result of taking family members out of communities and taking family members out of the homes. And then, the ripple of the political consequences that came as a result of mass incarceration. So, and all of this led to, the institutional decline, right? The decline of our institutions, Black institutions. It led to decline in Black organization and Black community in a way that I don't think is really talked about enough, right? Part three, the kids for cash. This is far more than just corruption. This is the erosion of society. This is core element.
Aren't they offering cash for something right now, y'all? I feel like it's at the tip of my brain. Aren't they offering cash for something right now? I know you said that they were offering money to take the vax, cash for clunkers. isn't there something right now? It's always very easy to just be like, child, we give you $50. It's on the tip of my tongue. Maybe I'm thinking of this old stuff now.
Erosion. When you have a legal system, and albeit, I'll give you that. I'll give you this is a case. We don't have a widespread scandal per se. Like this didn't happen across multiple states that we know of.
Goodbye.
It's just one state, one county that got busted. But we don't know if in fact it was something that was widespread. We don't know.
Oh my
I personally wouldn't be surprised, but I don't know. But the fact that this happened, the connection between the judges responsible for upholding justice, and when you look at this and you follow the path, when you follow it back to the Ivy League professor and his research as an Ivy League professor.
Yeah, the weapon thing for cash is a thing too. I forgot about that. And it's like, so y'all just taking your illegals and illegal weapons and getting some money for them, knowing damn well they got 55 more over here. Child, I'm telling you, this giving money for stuff is a thing over and over and over again.
Teaching Ivy League students.
That's what it is. Somebody is offering in the schools. We just read it. Oh, attendance. I forget if it was Texas. We just read it. If you come to school 5 days a week, they're giving out money. Cash for attendance. Cash for attendance. Remember, I feel like I forget where it was, but they're like, Detroit, if I'm not mistaken. If you come to school 5 days a week, we're going to give you some money. And there's people sitting around talking about, yes, yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? What is wrong with y'all? Detroit, thank you, big boy. It's in Detroit. Oh, you there? Yes, oh my God. What? So wash, rinse, repeat. Nobody's learning a lesson. Just keep doing the same shit over and over again, thinking that it's going to be for who's good and who's going to be disproportionately affected as always.
That Black children are predisposed to criminal and violent behavior. And as such, they need to be contained and label them super predators. Completely decontextualizing all of U.S. history as it relates to how Black communities, Black children, Black students, how and why they find themselves in the conditions and in the environments that they find themselves in.
And being led by the same people that they follow over and 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 over, but they love the Blacks. They love the Blacks. If I'm hearing this and it's reminding me of some of the things, I don't know it well. You think that the political people don't know? They not seemingly telling y'all that. They just saying, child, racism, and y'all follow along. Nothing ever changes. Y'all just want to blame it on white people. I love this for y'all. Not y'all. Well, not most of y'all. Interesting. Child, how you gonna tell me I'm misinformed? You can't even use the right variation of your child. If y'all don't
at all taking into consideration that despite those environments, the overwhelming indications or stories of successful navigation and successful cases of young Black boys who were able to navigate an environment and to lead productive lives, not accounting for any of that. So you see the decadence of a nation on full display. Part 4, Biden's clemency. President Biden commuted Michael Conahan's sentence.
Yeah.
As part of a larger clemency initiative of over 1,500 people, based on an eligibility criteria that the president knows. I don't know what that criteria was. All I know is what I know and what I'm presenting to you. But this judge's conviction was not erased, all right? And the decision generated significant criticism from victims, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, we know white people was in there. I don't know if you was here, child. The white people was in places they had no business doing, looking straight out of place. And then stuff was sent to them. I'm sorry, people took the stuff to them. A lot of Wall Street people in the NYC. I'm not saying that it wasn't going on anywhere else, but definitely a lot of the Wall Street people, they needed it to stay up. A lot of colleges, they needed it to stay awake and just to be dumbasses. So white people are not absolved. The problem is that Black people are always affected the worst and the most. And for some reason, the community, those that run the community don't want to acknowledge that, but it's always somebody else's fault, even though
Black women are the leaders of this culture. And if we aren't happy and satisfied, it's going down.
This better not be true, Dante. Look for Chicago to adopt cash for attendance. I know you lying. I know you must be joking. Please be joking. I can't do it. I can't do it. This cash for thing just shows, because it's not even like it's some life-changing amount of money that you get for these programs. For the cash for clunkers thing, it may have been $1,000. Is that life-changing? That was supposed to move the auto industry because it was failing because of after the crash of 2008. Uncle Rick said, with how smart I was in school with the tools they have now, I'd be a lawyer, a doctor, or an Indian chief. You can still do it. You can do it. You can do it. Go on, go back. I support it. I support you, boo.
Yeah, officials and others, because of the gravity of the
No shade. This man, this is on 1.5 and he just sounds like he's talking normal. I feel like I could take it up to 2.
quote kids for cash scandal. This was a kids for cash scandal. The White House indicated that commutations were based on general criteria rather than an individual review of each case. Whatever the hell that means. This is an article in Politico that talks about that. But they justified what they did for the White House. It made sense to them. It was ethical to them, which,
hey, the famous blacks or the important blacks went along with it. So shout out to them.
which says what it says. Part 5, the bigger question. And this is really sort of the crux of what I want to talk about. What happens when incarceration becomes economically profitable? And we have to be, when we ask that question, it's important to be mindful of the history of enslavement in this country, and 250 years of enslavement. The 250 years of free labor, 250 years of dehumanizing. And in 1994, the actors responsible for the 1994 crime bill and the dominoes that fell as a result of that, given that history, what did we learn as a nation?
Nothing. What y'all think?
What does it mean to have a president like Bill Clinton, who black people adored?
You say it. The first black president. Say it.
And yet he be the one to sign the bill into law.
Oh, no. They don't want to put that together, child. They do not want to put that together.
What does it mean to have Hillary Clinton running for president, who many black people supported, championing?
Of course they did, because Rolly was sitting up there letting y'all know, the person that y'all follow, that you need to go ahead and vote for Hillary.
Right. That is it for us. I do got to ask you, do you know how to wobble?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you know how to wobble?
I don't.
You know how to wobble? You just lost the black vote right there.
Yeah.
Karen, the black folks on your staff need to teach you how to do the wobble. Trust me.
Can you show me how
you
you
go,
do
oh,
it?
I can show you how to do it. You gonna pick up some votes, trust me.
But I gotta see it in
hold
order
on,
to know it.
Hold on, you need some music. I don't really need the music, but I'm just saying.
Okay, who could show me? Come on, don't be
All right,
shy.
I told y'all Black Network we do a little bit different.
Well, you raised it. Now don't leave me hanging
hold on,
out
you want
here.
me to put my iPod on?
Don't leave me hanging out here.
I got music.
Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe.
oh yeah, plug this up right now. Y'all know I'll put it on now. Secretary Clinton, it's a pleasure. Thank you so very much. Claflin, thanks you as well. Round of applause, please. Democratic presidential candidate.
Thank you, Roland.
Secretary Hillary Clinton.
You see the sign in the back? I just noticed it. It says Hillary fighting for us. This is how your lead political person that the blacks be listening to is doing, y'all. You think he didn't know about all this stuff that this black man is talking about? Back there fighting for us. She gonna be shucking and jiving for votes too.
That's how I told y'all need.